A study in Proverbs, chapter 25, like apples of gold. These also are Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied. It is the glory of God to conceal things, but the glory of kings is to search things out. As the heavens for height and the earth for depth, so the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and the smith has material for a vessel. Take away the wicked from the presence of the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Do not put yourself forward in the king's presence, or stand in the place of the great. For it is better to be told, "Come up here," than to be put lower in the presence of a noble. What your eyes have seen, do not hastily bring into court. For what will you do in the end when your neighbor puts you to shame? Argue your case with your neighbor himself, and do not reveal another's secret, lest he who hears you bring shame upon you, and your ill repute have no end. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver. Like a gold ring or an ornament of gold is a wise reprover to a listening ear. Like the cold of snow in the time of harvest is a faithful messenger to those who send him. He refreshes the soul of his masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is the man who boasts of a gift he does not give. With patience a ruler may be persuaded, and a soft tongue will break a bone. If you have found honey, eat only enough for you, lest you have your fill of it and vomit it. Let your foot be seldom in your neighbor's house, lest he have his fill of you and hate you. A man who bears false witness against his neighbor is like a war club, or a sword, or a sharp arrow. Trusting in a treacherous man in time of trouble is like a bad tooth, or a foot that slips. Whoever sings songs to a heavy heart is like one who takes off a garment on a cold day, and like vinegar on soda. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. The north wind brings forth rain, and a backbiting tongue angry looks. It is better to live in a corner of the housetop than in a house shared with a quarrelsome wife. Like cold water to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. Like a muddied spring or a polluted fountain is a righteous man who gives way before the wicked. It is not good to eat much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Our proverb for today is verse 11. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver. There is an adage given in terms of etiquette that states that one should refrain from using anything prepared by a taxidermist as a dinner table centerpiece, no matter how tastefully or artistically it has been constructed. It just goes to show that not everyone can appreciate its beauty, and for sure it can go in and out of vogue. There are some things that withstand the whims of time as it pertains to decorations and jewelry. Gold and silver. Unlike most other metals, gold will not tarnish. Archaeologists unearth gold buried for centuries and millennia and find it is just as brilliant as the day it was covered. So it is also with its beauty across time and culture. It is appreciated virtually everywhere. Here in today's proverb, Solomon adds the beauty of gold with that of a silver setting. Among the lapidarists, they might call this a filigree. Other versions of the Bible call it a picture. Whatever term or concept you use, it clearly shows the enhanced beauty of that which is featured. Just as a frame adds to the beauty of a picture or a setting to a diamond, enhancement is the right sense here. For Solomon compares this beauty to that of one's speech in particular situations. Solomon will visit the actions of the mouth, the lips, and the tongue over and over again in Proverbs. He will often contrast the positive and the negative in a single proverb. Take chapter 10 in verse 11. The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but the mouth of the wicked conceals violence. In verse 19 of chapter 10, when words are many, transgression is not lacking, but whoever restrains his lips is prudent. Verse 20 of chapter 10, the tongue of the righteous is choice silver. The heart of the wicked is of little worth. However, Solomon will also speak of the power of the word. In chapter 12 and verse 25, anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down, but a good word makes him glad. Chapter 15 and verse 1, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Chapter 16 and verse 20, whoever gives thought to the word will discover good, and blessed is he who trusts in the Lord. We know well the power of the word to heal or to hurt, to encourage or to enrage, to bring calm or catastrophe. What it boils down to is the choice we make in that moment, and that choice comes from the heart. Solomon knew this well when he wrote in Proverbs 27:19, as in water face reflects face, so the heart of man reflects the man. Jesus also declared that it was from the heart that man brought forth evil intentions. In the Gospel of Mark, chapter 7 and verse 21 and 22, he said, for from within, out of the heart of man come evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, coveting, wickedness, deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride, foolishness. While words of encouragement come easier for some than others, it is nonetheless a choice made by each person. When one falls back on the well-worn excuse that they are just a realist when blurting out the first thing that comes to the mind, they reveal more about their heart than they might think. But with practice, we too can be one who has a word fitly spoken each time we open our mouth. Do you give thought to the words you speak and the power they yield? Lord willing, we'll meet again tomorrow.